All men should watch this video. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Because what we're about to explore are not ordinary relationship tips, not recycled motivational lines, but 7 hidden truths about women that most men never see. These truths are not about manipulation, not about trickery, but about understanding what lies behind the facade. The psychological and emotional cravings women often keep secret. To guide us, we draw from the provocative insights of Slavoj. Zizek, one of the most influential and controversial living philosophers. Zizek is not your typical academic. He speaks in riddles, laughter, and paradoxes, but underneath his eccentric style is a piercing understanding of human desire, power, and relationships. He reminds us that what people show you on the surface is rarely the whole truth. Desire, he says, is shaped not only by what we want, but by what society tells us to want. And this is especially true in the world of attraction. If you are a man who feels confused by female behavior, if you've ever wondered why women say one thing but respond to another, if you've ever questioned why your silence sometimes drives her crazy while your attention makes her pull away, then this video is for you. We are going to unmask 7 hidden secrets women secretly crave, and once you understand them, you will never look at attraction the same way again. So let us begin. Part 1. The secret of desired resistance. Zizek often said that desire is not about possession, but about resistance. In other words, we are not drawn to what we fully have, but to what resists us. Women, in ways often subconscious, crave this resistance. They may say they want complete attention, constant reassurance, and endless availability, but in reality, too much of that kills attraction. Think about it. If a man instantly agrees to everything, never challenges her, never sets his own boundaries, she may feel safe, but she will not feel desire. Deep inside, women respect and secretly crave the man who can say no. The man who is willing to walk away. The man who does not orbit around her like a planet trapped by her gravity. This is not cruelty. It is reality. Human beings desire what they cannot easily dominate. Zizek points out that love and desire are full of contradictions. We want intimacy, but we also want distance. We crave closeness, but we also need mystery. Women may not admit this, but they feel it. When a man holds his frame, when he resists being absorbed entirely into her world, she experiences the kind of tension that fuels attraction. So the first secret is this. Women secretly crave a man who resists total submission. Not because he is cold, but because he values himself enough to not be consumed. Part 2. The secret of emotional unpredictability. Another truth Zizek highlights is that humans are addicted to surprise. We are not satisfied by a life that is perfectly predictable, perfectly calm. Desire feeds on unpredictability. Women, no matter how much they talk about stability, are deeply moved by men who bring emotional energy that cannot be fully anticipated. This does not mean chaos or treating her badly. Instead, it means that a man is not a machine. He is not programmed to react the same way every time. He can be strong but also vulnerable, serious but also playful, present but also mysterious. This dynamic energy shakes her from routine and forces her to pay attention. Imagine the man who responds to every text within seconds, who always says the same reassuring words, who always bends to her expectations. He becomes background noise, predictable, safe, but unexciting. Now compare that to the man who sometimes responds quickly and sometimes later, not out of games but because he has his own life. The man who sometimes teases, sometimes comforts, sometimes debates, sometimes listens. He is not trapped in one mode, and that unpredictability sparks curiosity. Zizek once joked that love itself is like a catastrophe. It disrupts life. It unsettles us. It shakes the ground. Women, consciously or not, crave this spark of disruption. They may seek safety on the surface, but secretly, they long for the man who can bring energy, surprise, and a touch of emotional unpredictability. So the second secret is this. Women secretly crave a man whose emotions are alive, dynamic, and not locked into robotic routine. Zizek once remarked that true power does not always scream, it whispers. In the world of relationships, women may appear to respond to grand gestures, dramatic declarations, or constant attention, but in reality, they are deeply moved by silent authority. Silent authority is the presence of a man who does not need to over-explain, over-persuade, or over-display his worth. He simply embodies it. Women secretly crave this because silence, when carried with confidence, communicates something words cannot. Certainty. A man who can sit comfortably in silence, who does not panic when there is no conversation, who does not feel the need to constantly fill the space with flattery or validation, radiates self-possession. And that self-possession is magnetic. Think of the opposite. A man who constantly explains himself, who argues to prove his worth, who cannot stop talking because he fears losing her attention. His words become noise. His presence becomes heavy. She may tolerate him, but she will not respect him. On the other hand, when a man allows his actions, his composure, and his silence to speak, she leans in. She begins to wonder, what is he thinking? Why is he not trying to impress me? Why is he so calm? That curiosity turns into attraction. Zizek often joked that ideology works best when it is invisible, when it silently shapes us without being noticed. The same principle applies here. Authority that is loud feels forced. Authority that is silent feels natural. Women secretly crave the man who carries authority without raising his voice, without begging for attention, without announcing it. His presence is enough. So the third secret is this. Women secretly crave the man whose silence carries authority, not insecurity. Part 4. The Secret of Controlled Distance. One of Zizek's most repeated ideas is that desire thrives in gaps, in the space between what we want and what we have. If everything were given instantly, desire would vanish. Women may say they want constant closeness, total availability, and endless togetherness, but deep inside, they crave controlled distance. This is not abandonment, nor neglect. It is the art of balancing closeness with space. A man who is always available, who sacrifices his entire life for her, becomes predictable and dependent. His presence turns into background music, always there, never missed. But the man who values his own time, his own pursuits, his own growth, creates a rhythm. He is close enough to connect, yet distant enough to be desired. Controlled distance creates anticipation. It gives her the chance to miss him, to wonder about him, to desire his presence more deeply when he returns. Zizek explained that desire often grows stronger in absence than in presence. Too much closeness suffocates, too much distance alienates, but the right balance keeps the fire alive. Women secretly crave men who do not vanish into obsession. They want to feel chosen, but not consumed. They want a man who loves them but who does not erase himself in the process. Controlled distance is the secret rhythm that keeps attraction alive, because it respects both the man's individuality and her curiosity. So the fourth secret is this. Women secretly crave a man who knows how to create distance without breaking. Connection. Part 5. The secret of mental gravity. Zizek is known for his eccentric way of thinking, connecting movies, politics, and philosophy in ways that shock and fascinate. What makes him compelling is not only his intelligence but his mental gravity, the ability to pull people into his world of ideas. Women secretly crave this same quality in men. Looks may attract at first, status may impress, but what truly holds a woman's long-term attention is a man whose mind captivates her. Mental gravity means depth. It means having perspectives, stories, and insights that make her stop scrolling, stop wandering, and start listening. When a man speaks with clarity and originality, when he is not just repeating what everyone else says, he stands out in her imagination. Think about it. Many men focus on physical attraction or material displays, but neglect the power of intellectual pull. Zizek once joked that people fall in love not with the person themselves, but with the story that person tells about the world. Women secretly crave men who can expand their perspective, who can make them laugh, challenge them, provoke them, and make them see reality differently. Mental gravity also shows resilience, a man who has thought deeply, who has principles, who can defend his views calmly, communicates that he cannot be easily manipulated. He is not lightweight. He has weight, and that weight grounds her, fascinates her, and keeps her attention. So, the fifth secret is this. Women secretly crave a man whose mind is heavy with depth, not empty with conformity. Zizek often argued that real growth comes not from comfort but from confrontation. In relationships, this is just as true. Women may claim they want a man who always agrees with them, who validates every opinion, who never causes friction, but secretly they crave emotional challenge. Why? Because challenge awakens respect. A man who agrees with everything becomes invisible. He is not a partner but an echo. His presence does not sharpen her mind, does not test her patience, does not make her grow. He is easy, and easy eventually becomes boring. But when a man respectfully challenges her, when he debates her opinions, when he playfully resists her assumptions, he stimulates her on a deeper level. She may argue, she may even get frustrated, but beneath the frustration lies admiration. He is not afraid of her reaction. He is not afraid of conflict. He values truth and respect more than blind approval. Zizek reminds us that love is not harmony without struggle, but harmony through struggle. A man who challenges her emotionally creates a space where attraction thrives. He is not cruel, but he is also not weak. His willingness to confront shows strength. His ability to hold his ground shows spine. And women deep down crave men who can withstand their storms without collapsing. So the sixth secret is this. Women secretly crave a man who challenges them emotionally, because challenge proves strength. Part 7. The secret of unshakable purpose. The core of Zizek's philosophy lies the idea that individuals must orient themselves around a purpose greater than comfort. Desire without direction collapses. In the same way, women secretly crave men with unshakable purpose. A man who lives only for her, who abandons his dreams, his ambitions, and his calling just to orbit around her, may appear romantic at first, but over time, he loses value. Why? Because he has lost himself. He has no center, no fire, no mission. He becomes needy, dependent, and uninteresting. By contrast, A man with purpose radiates energy. He is not just existing, he is moving. He has goals, passions, and visions that make his presence magnetic. Women are drawn to this, not because they want to be ignored, but because they want to be with a man who carries weight in the world. His mission makes him harder to control, but also more worth chasing. Zizek often said that freedom is not found in doing whatever you want, but in being bound by what gives life meaning. The same is true here. A man who is bound by his higher purpose cannot be enslaved by validation. Women sense this and it fascinates them. They may try to test him to see if he will give it up for them, but deep down, they admire the man who holds steady. So the seventh secret is this. Women secretly crave a man who has an unshakable purpose, because purpose makes him untouchable. Ending, the final lesson. Now, let us bring this all together. The 7 hidden secrets women secretly crave are not tricks. They are not about manipulation, deception, or playing shallow games. They are about becoming the kind of man whose presence naturally commands respect, admiration, and desire. Zizek, with all his eccentricities, teaches us a profound truth. Desire is complicated, messy, and full of paradoxes. Women say they want stability, yet they crave unpredictability. They say they want closeness, yet they need distance. They say they want constant attention, yet they secretly long for resistance. This is not hypocrisy. It is human nature. Desire thrives on tension, on balance, on the contradictions that make life meaningful. So what does this mean for you? It means stop chasing in desperation. Stop bending until you break. Stop thinking you must be everything she asks for. Instead, become the man who resists total submission. The man who is unpredictable, who carries silent authority, who creates controlled distance. The man whose mind has gravity, who challenges her emotionally and who never abandons his higher purpose. If you become this man, women will not only notice you, they will feel you. You will no longer be begging for attention, because attention will follow you. You will no longer be lost in confusion because you understand the secret architecture of desire, and you will no longer need to play games because authenticity, depth, and strength will make you unshakable. Remember this, attraction is not built on what is easy, but on what carries weight. Women secretly crave men who cannot be swallowed, whole, who cannot be broken by pressure, who cannot be defined by anyone but themselves. So take these 7 secrets not as tricks, but as a blueprint. Build yourself into the man who embodies them, and you will never again need to ask, "What does she want?" Because you will already be the answer.